Until death do us part. Have you ever wondered, when we reincarnate lifetime after lifetime for thousands of years, what happens to those beliefs, those religions, those deities that play such a big part in our life when we die and when we come back into a new life? Are they still there, or do we now worship new gods and start fresh? So from young, when I started meditating, at certain points Lord Ganesha would appear, and in those days I always thought, did I have a life in India? I had feelings I did, and slowly over the years some memories started to surface. What I also noticed was in different groups where people were meditating, Lord Ganesha would appear on certain nights, and I just thought this was normal for different deities to come in at different points. And then we also had people coming out from India to teach Kriya Yoga, and they were on the stage and put some music on, and clairvoyantly I could see on the stage dancing was Lord Ganesha with some of the other Hindu deities, and I was absolutely amazed by this. And then I felt, well, they're coming from India, so they must be bringing the deities with them. This is how it works. And then for years it continued, and also in ayahuasca ceremonies over the 10-year period, there was a specific person, well, it still keeps coming, but that was attending ceremonies, and every time he did make it, Lord Ganesha would appear in the temple in the center of the room for everyone to see. So it was just incredible to see how these contracts, these ties, kept going lifetime after lifetime. And only him not remembering that he was in India, living in India, maybe many lives, and now living in this paradigm as a Christian. So it was absolutely incredible to see the energy of Lord Ganesha appearing to us over and over and over. And not only that, we also got to realize he appears. So if I'm lighting an incense or meditating and there he appears, it's not to say he's not appearing to other people all over the world that are meditating or praying in temples. So they are omnipresent. It's quite a mind bender to observe this. But these are the gifts of spirit. These are the things we can do and that we can have. So one day when I awakened a bit further, and it wasn't only seeing, I could hear. So I quickly ran upstairs, sat on the floor in the lotus position and started meditating, and there was Lord Ganesha, followed me up. And he had this treasure chest which he threw in front of me, and it fell open, and all these jewels and gems and gold poured out in front of me. And I could hear his voice clearly speaking to me in English, absolutely beautiful, serene, sensitive and perfect, telling me about all these treasures he wants to bestow. I presume they're spiritual treasures, and a little bit more happened, but just incredible to see this connection. At some point also Lord Shiva appeared. So it started to dawn on me after a while that this was my connection to a previous life when I lived in India, which I did. And so we can forget, we can be fed a new religion, brainwashed and fed propaganda and dogma, but at the end of the day the truth still comes out, and it's not until death do us part. It's immortal, eternal in the higher realms. So they are very aware of us, our phases when we develop spiritually and when we don't, the times they enter our life. So they are all aware of this, in other words, tapping into the Akashic records, into those timelines at specific moments. It's absolutely incredible to see this bit beyond us, to bring us these energies, to bless us and to show that we're still guided with wisdom and love from the other side. Lord Ganesha's eyes are a little bit more slanted than a lot of the images portray him. Sometimes his color is an orangey pink, orangey gold, a pink gold. So you have variations of this color, and absolutely just pure love. What I also came to notice is when I started to awaken in terms of Mayanism and the lives that I lived as a Mayan, we had the rain god Chaac, the Ancient of Days for the Mayans. And he also has a trunk, as you can see in the images. And this was the most favored deity alongside with the plumed serpent that guided the Mayans in those ancient times. And as we start to realize and start to remember and start to wake up from our slumber, these deities start to re-enter your life, but only for you to realize, well, they were never really gone. It was only us that weren't seeing them in the background. So even though we had a new religion and restructured things, they were still in the background watching over us. And that really just shows their love, that it transcends time and space. And so, yeah, not like marriages, where when you finish with your marriage, at your moment of death, when it comes to spiritual things, these contracts are eternal. They continue through time and space, no matter where we are, because this is really how it works with the ancient deities. So it's just really interesting to see this, and also it makes me think of, certain people that are in their new religions and how they forgot their roots and their true beliefs. And those memories should surely filter through. So where we have this attraction, where we find an affinity, like attracts like, we should start to see some of our past lives, what we're interested in, what are the things that we are vibrating towards, what are the things we are bringing into our lives, because this normally is also an indication of what we did in previous lives, just in a different form. So very interesting to see that the deities never let us down. If anything, it's our egos that let ourselves and everyone else down. The gods are just pure love, pure wisdom, and I hope you enjoyed this talk.